The first round of the 2015 MLR Sprint Series kicked off at Pembrey Circuit in South Wales on the 11th of April. Despite being a circuit that's potentially one of the furthest to travel to for some of the competitors, the event was well attended with over 40 participants across all classes from the MLR, 22B.com and GTROC. With the changes in regulations for the 2015 season, it meant that Class A, the class that I'm competing in, had the biggest list of entrants across all the classes, nearly making up a fifth of all the runners, which is a huge improvement on last year, and it was great to see so many new members having a go and enjoying their first sprint. I'd spent quite a bit of time doing a few much needed upgrades to the car at the start of the year before the first round. Last year's worn out brake discs and pads and brake lines were replaced all round with brand new items from Gyrodisc, Ross Sport, Performance Friction and Hell. A stiffer rear anti-roll bar and adjustable drop flicks from Whiteline were also fitted to help eliminate some of the understeer common on the Evo. The SST gearbox map had a mild tweak just to increase the clamping force of the clutch plates, allowing me to get off the line slightly quicker, and my OEM standard suspension that had been knocking quite badly for some time had been replaced with a set of Meister R coilovers. Finally, a set of new wheels and AD08 tyres had gone on the car also. So the car was pretty much ready for its first outing to be driven in anger, and I was keen to see how it would perform on track when pushed. As usual, the first round of the season came round much quicker than I expected, and I barely had time to scrub in the new tyres, and the coilovers were only fitted and geometry sorted only 3 days before the first event. So this was going to be a real shakedown for the 10 following all the upgrades. And basically the car's performance on track has been significantly improved now compared to last year. I don't use the 10's launch control, but even with just a normal standing start, the car goes off the line and picks up revs very quickly once the turbo spools. And as always, the SST gear shifts are super quick, with V-Box data recording a best 0 to 60 of 4.41 seconds. The combo of better tyres and new suspension is probably the biggest improvement this year, giving me loads more feedback about how close I'm getting to the limit of traction, bags more grip and vastly reducing the understeer I previously experienced on the soft wall Bridgestones. The whole car feels so much more planted during quick transitions of direction, with far less body roll compared to my old knackered Bilsteins. But I did have one recurring issue which pretty much hampered my performance that day. In this corner, the car would basically not upshift from 4th to 5th on the exit and bounce off the rev limiter. Or as in this case, when I short shifted to try to work around what I thought at the time was a gearbox issue at the top end of 4th gear, it cuts and misfires a few seconds down the straight, and I'm effectively coasting to the apex of the next corner. Pretty much every run went like this or worse, and frustratingly for me, I didn't manage to get a clean run in all day. As I mentioned, at the time I thought it was an SST gearbox issue, but it turned out to be something much simpler. But annoyingly, it was something I could have eliminated on the day if I'd have thought about it logically and realised what was happening. Basically, this is my Evo 10 suffering from fuel starvation following sustained left-hand cornering and when running very little fuel. I did a few 4th and 5th gear pulls on the motorway on the way home, and it pulled hard, shifted exactly as expected every time, no problems, no cutting, no misfiring. What's irritating is that it didn't click with me that this could be a fuel starvation issue until after the event. I did know and had read that the 10 suffered from fuel surge on sustained cornering if you're running less than half a tank of fuel, but as it had never happened to me on track before, and especially as it wasn't upshifting correctly on the exit of that corner, all I could think of at the time is that it was a gearbox issue. Only when I got home and I did a bit more reading did it suddenly click. On each run I was running less than a quarter tank of fuel to try and keep weight down. I was also running stickier tyres than ever before, and it was only happening on that one left-hander. So really quite obvious and a total and complete fail on my part for not figuring it out at the time. So at the end of the day I finished 6th in class, 1.1 seconds behind winner Nick Greenio. Huge congratulations to him for taking a well-deserved win in class, and Ian the Tyrant and Stotty Evo for the podium finishes in Class A. And well done to all the other competitors. It's great to see Class A being so popular this season, which should hopefully see some more epic close competition during the upcoming rounds. Congratulations to all the class winners also, Liddy for winning Class D and looking good to defend his title this year, Rodney in Class C and Peeler for B. Massive kudos to Andy Forrest for taking the fastest time of the day in his insanely epic and untouchable Subaru, beating the entire field by 2.67 seconds on what is quite a short course. I I had the pleasure of being parked next to this immense machine in the paddock all day, and that's certainly one way to make your own car feel underpowered, overweight, lacking aero, and very slow. Well done, Andy. So despite me being an idiot and not putting enough fuel in the car, the first event of the season was brilliantly enjoyable and the car drove loads better than last year following the upgrades. The organisation by the MLR staff before the event and on the day was slick and professional as always, and the addition of the live commentary in the paddock giving updates on each individual's runs throughout the day really added to the whole atmosphere. The special stage crew were also present filming the event, and the programme is due to be broadcast on Motors TV on the 1st of May. The next 2 rounds of the Sprint Series are at Alton Park and Castle Combe, which I unfortunately can't make, so the next time out for me will be at Teesside in July, and for that one I'm definitely going to make sure I'm running a full tank of fuel. Thanks for watching and see you soon.